Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm excited. Excited about the show today. Well, I'm excited about everything. I'm excited. Michelle and I, we've been on the road for the last couple of weeks, and we made it back to Texas. We're back home in Texas, and just enjoying the weather, just enjoying the relaxation, just enjoying everything. And we're gonna enjoy this absolutely fantastic guest that we got on the show today. Dr. Michelle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, James. I'm excited about the guest today. I was telling her before the show, an hour will not do her justice. I mean, she is so multifaceted. She has so many hats under her belt. I don't know how she has the time, but she does. I mean, she is a woman of just many talents. Next thing I know, she's going to be an airline pilot and going to fly a plane. I mean, she's a go-getter. So, I'm just really excited to have her on the show today. And it's a really great topic for people who dream and they want they see more for their life than what's been told to them and what it takes to go after your dreams. So really excited about the show today.
Yeah. So many people want to give up when things just don't go their way. They want to quit. Uh, and Amy is a true example of, hey, you can pursue, you can do anything, and you can be successful at anything that you do. She is so successful in a lot of different areas: country music, TV,
Wait, hold on. I'm supposed
all of these great
her.
things. And I'm just happy to be able to call her a friend, and I'm looking forward to this fantastic show today. So I tell you, wherever you're watching this at, whether you're watching it on E360 television, or was you watching it on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, or over 25 other live streaming networks, including Transfers TV? We welcome them to the family. We want you to go to the platform, ask this great lady any question that you want to. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, I can't take it no more. Why don't you introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this great guest?
Yes. Well, the title of the show is called Never Giving Up the Pursuit of Your Dreams. And we're getting to know the background of media executive, TV host, recording artist, public speaker, corporate spokesperson, and sales professional. And she's many more, Amy Scruggs. And we're going to talk about the challenges and rewards in the pursuit of her dreams, talk about her best-selling book, and we're also going to discuss her career as a country music artist. So let's tell a little bit about Amy. Amy uses her 20 years experience as a media executive, TV host, recording artist, public speaker, corporate spokesperson, sales professional to help others present and communicate a concise and professional message for TV, podcast, Zoom, social media, or public speaking appearances. She is providing media and communications coaching to corporate and private clients through individual and team training workshops to enhance their communications and virtual media skills. She also advises entrepreneurs and startup companies on messaging, branding, and how to develop marketing strategies. In 2021, Amy received bestseller with her books, Lights, Camera, Action. As a TV host, she enjoyed the past 5 years on the national shows, The American Dream TV, Retiring Right TV, Veterans One TV, and Financing the American Dream, which airs on CNBC. As a recording artist, she's been known in the country music industry for more than 15 years and has opened for artists including Clint Black, Trace Atkins, Charlie Daniels, and many more. Her new music, Love Another Day EP, released in 2022, and the single, What If It All Goes Right, is now on radio and charting worldwide, including reaching number 66 on the Music Road charts, along with being selected for the New York Times Summer 2022 playlist. Please welcome, and she's been on our show before, welcome back to the show, the amazing, multi-talented Amy Scruggs.
Amy, how you
I'm
doing?
so excited to be here, and now I'm tired. That's a lot. I'm sorry. That is just a lot. It just
It's
means
all.
I'm old. That's all that means.
Oh, you haven't even hit what we call spring chicken yet. You
Oh,
know?
I'm there. Oh, I'm there.
How you been, Amy? How you been? It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, and as you can been hearing that I've been busy. I don't like using the word busy. I've been active, proactive, just continuing to not put a bookend on what possibilities can be. I am not done. He who began a work in me is faithful to complete it. So I am not done until the end, and it's not the end yet.
So Amy, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about you, where you grew up, the community that you serve, and all the great things that you're doing. I'm going to give you the whole camera.
Loaded question. Well, I was born and raised in Southern California. So San Dimas, California was home. Anybody who remembers the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, that was the city, San Dimas. And I grew up just one brother, mom and dad. My dad's an Air Force veteran. I was always very proud of that. So my family raised me to be respectful and love for our military and appreciation. And so I started practicing the national anthem on the fireplace by the time I was about 4 years old. And I started playing piano by ear at 3 years old. And I was already singing at that time as well. So music was the number one. That came in first. And if you had asked me when I was younger what I was going to be when I grew up, my answer was always Barbara Mandrell. That was it. I thought that's what I want to be. And so music was a powerful part of my life, singing in the church choirs, singing in the ensembles at school, and just went through a great time of having incredible music training, 10 years of classical piano lessons. But I still knew there was more. I was still just needing to break out of that cage. And I went on to have quite a few children pretty young. I had a lot of kids. I have a lot of kids. We'll just get to that. We'll get to that later. But at the age of 29, I was able to start a position in wholesale mortgage in Southern California. And that really opened my eyes to being in front of other sales professionals. I didn't know anything. And I had an amazing woman, Liz Montez, who took a chance on me when I really wasn't qualified for that job. And it put me out there in a big way. But I discovered something right out the gate, even at that time. And it was that effective communication was going to help leverage me in my career. Being comfortable in front of presenting to an audience, whether it was a small group in a boardroom, one-on-one, or a large presentation, that if I had that confidence and knew my talking points, it was going to set me apart against some of my other, let's say, competitors in that industry. And I went on to have just such a wonderful time with that career and became top sales. I was still always singing. I was performing in cover band all over Southern California. So concerts in the park, festivals, things like that. So I was performing. I had the kids in tow. I had my sales job, and the world was awesome until 2007. And the industry disappeared. We had the recession hit and it collapsed. And with it, so did my livelihood. Ouch.
Wow.
What do you do? What do you do? You shift, right? And it was a time to say, okay, I'm not done. It's time to shift. Well, what do I have? I have tools. I have skills. I can sell. I have the passion for music. What if I put that together in a business plan? And I went out and asked for the business as a recording artist, as a touring artist. What if we took this music out in a big way to provide for the family? And 6 months later, I opened for Clint Black on a national stage on the 4th of July in Camp Verde, Arizona. And that started what I knew was going to create new launch pads. But go back to what the roots that I shared is that passion that I have for the military and veteran community. I'd been singing the national anthem. And so I said, how can we go out and serve? And we started serving the USO, started getting connected with the veterans in our community there in Ontario, California. And then the doors opened up. And the American Veterans of California said, gosh, we need you. Will you come and perform at this? Will you come and perform at that? So I was able to put together a beautiful collaboration with them for 3 years as their spokesperson for the state of California. So not only were we performing and on some of the big national stages with the big artists in country music, but in between, I was doing hundreds of military events, performing at the bases, command change ceremonies, deployments, welcome home ceremonies, street dedications, veterans posts, you name it. We were there. And that was a transformation in my life, hands down. An amazing, beautiful time in my life that I don't have media. I didn't have Facebook following me. I didn't have social media then. I have some pictures on a hard drive, but it transformed me forever.
Wow. You mentioned the service member. I'm a big time fan.
I was going to thank you for your service. Thank you so much for your years of service. I know that. And that is such a huge part of who I am and why I am.
Wow. So, Amy, I mean, all this energy and all of these different things that you're doing, can you? I'm gonna throw a wrench in there. I had to
Please.
always. Can you just name one adjective that describe who Amy Scruggs is, and tell our viewers and listeners why?
Limitless. I don't believe that we have the limits. We put them on ourselves. And I'm guilty of putting them on myself at times. But once I remember, no, I don't have to, because I chose this time, then I stay in there. I didn't have to just stay in sales because that was the first big career I had. Why can't I use these all as tools to learn and grow so I can be limitless in what my story is supposed to be, what my greatest skill sets can be used for? And I'm still exploring that and enjoying the discovery of that every day in the pursuit of my potential.
Who are some of your role models that that you look up to? Maybe they're not here. Some of them might not be, but that kind of taught you the work ethics and the values that you have today.
Wow, the work ethic definitely came from my father. My dad was a hard worker. He and his brothers owned a machine shop in the aerospace industry. My brother's still in that industry today, along with my cousins, but my dad was a hard worker. And then when he wasn't working, he had me out there in the garage with him, helping work on the cars and clean the cars and do yard work. And so there was always something that needed to be done to show our appreciation for what we had. And so I think that definitely was dad instilling that in me of understanding we show appreciation by taking care of the things we've been blessed with, putting in a good day's work, being proud that I did my best all day. And I think that was definitely a tremendous influence. 100% my father.
Wow. So kids, if any of your kids follow in your footsteps, that's like, Mommy, I want to do all these things that you're doing.
Well, I think that my kids there's a lot of eye rolls. They're like, oh Lord, it's mom. But But to answer the question, I think to some degree, each of them, because they are so uniquely different. I have four that I gave birth to, right? My oldest son, by the time he was 18, was actually playing for me and is still to this day, my lead guitar player. He's going to be 32 this summer. And he has stood on every national stage with me. He has performed with every performance with military and veteran community with me. And he is amazing. So Ryan ended up becoming really that right hand for me in music. And there's a bond that we have that if I move my earlobe while we're performing, he knows what that means. He knows that means change the tempo, the pace. Hold on, I'm going to take a breath, whatever it is. We have such a unique, wonderful component together. My middle two boys, they're hard workers. They didn't choose music, but the careers that they're in or what they're finding, they're 23 and 25, they're finding their way and they are not afraid to get their hands dirty. They're not afraid of failure. They're not afraid of trying new things. My youngest boy literally just upped and moved to another state to take on a new job and try a new life. And I'm so proud of him for that. And then my youngest, she is just tremendously smart. I mean, my goodness gracious, skipped a grade. She's just completing her first year at UCSD and she's still only 17 and she plays 5 instruments and going into marine biology. So I don't know where that one came from, but it's really fun to see them all excelling in their own departments. And I hope that what I've taught them is that it's okay to try. It's okay to decide you don't want to do something and try something else. It's okay to ask questions. And it's okay to want the best for yourselves and to thrive and take those limits off. I really, truly hope that that's what I've inspired in them.
I don't know what you and Paula are doing to look like both of you guys look like you're 30. I mean, whatever that is, you need to share that.
No, doctor, I'm telling you, I turned 50 this year. And it's weird. I'm like, woo, this is 50. Okay, this is what's happening. But I'm proud of it. You know why? Especially as a woman, it's been hard for me in each industry, male-dominated industries, the mortgage industry, the music industry, television, male-dominated. But I am finally old enough to be taken seriously and young enough to still take action. And that's where I sit today.
Hold that thought. We're going to take a station break, but if you want to talk to Amy Scruggs, all you do is go to the platform that you're on, ask her any questions that you like. I promise you, I'll get you on the screen and we'll get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Hello, hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the Jason Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunity / the Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I got my absolutely wonderful guest, Amy Scruggs, here today with us and sharing a lot of things. I mean, a multifaceted individual that's doing so many great things out there. Not just with the family, not just with the music, but she's also helping people with foundations, and we really getting ready to delve deep into this young lady and find out some of the other things that she's doing. So if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments. Ask her any question you like. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Now, Amy, the title of this show is Never Giving Up the Pursuit of Your Dreams. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners why you chose that and why it's so important that they know?
It's so easy to get discouraged in today's world, right? We see so many things that think this could hold me back. I don't have the opportunity. And we tend to maybe lose hope of that deepest passion that we have inside of us, that we were born with. It's a gift to know, what is my passion? What is my dream? We don't want to lose that dream. And anytime we can take a daily action that says, I did something today that nurtured that dream. Maybe we don't see the results for 20 years. I mean, for me, my dream since I was 3, as I mentioned earlier, was to be Barbara Mandrell someday, right? So that was that childhood dream. And I wanted to record in one of those major Nashville studios. I wanted to have one of those songs hit out on radio. Well, I was 49 years old before I really got that yes. But not giving up, taking daily actions, doing those things, all of the things in my career, all the live performances, or saying, okay, it's just not my time for that thing. But it came in when I least expected it, in the middle of a pandemic. And I think it's powerful that we can remember what we're dreaming of and what we're asking could come when we least expect it. We can't assume that it's going to come at this beautiful magic moment on a clear day and the beautiful sunshine on a Saturday. That's when we get that dream of that thing we wanted. It may come in the most obscure way. And for me, it came from a relationship that just had stayed nurtured for 20 years. If we do that right thing, nurture those things that are fulfilling that passion and that dream with us, it's amazing what can happen. I have story after story after story of dreams of mine that have been fulfilled by just taking daily tasks to nurture it, to think of it, to pray about it, to bless it, to take actions, to continue relationships leading towards that thing, and watching and see what happens.
Wow. Yeah, so one of the things I always talk about is dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do.
Yes.
I mean, and not always listen to the naysayers, because that could potentially destroy your motivations for dreaming big.
Mhm.
So, how does Amy Scruggs stay motivated in all of these things that you're doing, and just keep an equal balance, and where you're feeling good about all the different things that you how do you stay motivated, get the strength, and know what to focus on at one time or another?
I get fed by connection. So even, for example, being here with you today, I am telling you, this will just catapult and feed me all week. I'm so thrilled. What a great time this is to know that, oh my goodness, that there might be something I've been through that's going to maybe help one person today to say, I'm not going to give up either. This could happen for me, or just anything inspiring. But even if not that, you're inspiring me. This is a blessing. And so for me, looking for those little moments of those wins, I think that sometimes as humans, we tend to look for just the big wins, right? I'm looking for that big thing. This big phone call came in, this big accomplishment, this big award, or whatever that might be. But those little wins, there might be a moment of quiet. It might be just a really great phone call. It might be a connection with a friend that we needed to have to connect us and encourage us. It might be in something that we read. Sometimes a passage in a book I'm reading will catapult my day to go, wow, that was powerful. So I'm continually looking for these little moments. And guess what they do? They create a lot of big moments, because it's all that balance, and it's how we see it. And I think that I get charged and recharged by connections with other people, by seeing an aha moment in someone else, by acknowledging my own aha moments, and this constant gauge of pushing forward.
Wow. You kind of had me. You got me on that one, because the aha moment those are the moments where I believe that really influence us and insight us on.
Yes.
Now I got it. I didn't know what it was before, but I got it now. Want to change it a little bit, because your music is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And I want to play this song for our viewers and our listeners, and then I want to talk about it.
Ooh, because it was a gift.
So let's.
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful slow drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if you jump on a trampoline and touch the sky? Grab a cloud as
What if it all goes right?
It's hard for me to see. That's a good. You got
I
me.
I love that song. And you
You
know
got
what?
me.
You put so many illustrations on everything, a lot of stuff that you're doing, even with the military,
Yes.
even with guys running. Where you said that 80-year-old plus guy. What if it all goes right?
Yes.
What inspired you to write that song?
Oh, I wish I could say I wrote it, Dr. JC. Oh my goodness. But thank you for noticing that in the video. I really wanted, having a moment here, because I wanted everyone to be able to identify. I wanted to show humans of all walks of life having their moment of a win. And that last clip with the little girl in the daisies, that's me. That was to represent me, the little girl who believed back then that I could have that life of what if it goes right, that I can pick myself back up from failures, that I can do that. That was that little girl running towards that at the end. And it was very symbolic for myself as well. When I started the song searching project during the pandemic, I got a call from an 18-year relationship in Nashville that said, Amy, would you like to finally record the project of your dreams? Now, who says no to that, right? You had musicians available because it was a pandemic. You had a producer who said yes, one of the greatest producers of all time, Fred Mullen. He said yes because they had the time and the availability. So I said yes. So we had to start the song searching process. I know what my skills are and aren't, and the songwriting is not it. My son can write amazing music, but and to quote Fred in the pitch sessions with the publishing companies, he said, she's a mature artist, no trucks, no tattoos, and no drinking. I was looking for that song that I'd visualized in my head since I was a girl, that positive song that was my anthem. I was looking for my anthem. And when I saw the title of that song on a list of 30 other songs, I knew it was it before I even heard it. And we asked the writers for the permission for me to record it, and the rest is history.
Wow. So did you always wanted to do music? Because you done did media, you done did you done did all these other type of things.
Music
What
was first.
ever since you was a little girl?
So I was 3 years old when I climbed up on the piano bench and started playing by ear. I was 5 when I was singing. I was already, by 8, I was putting on shows in the backyard and making my friends be backup dancers. I mean, I knew I'm sorry, Christy, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But yes, I knew that was the number one core root of who I was at 3 years old.
Wow. It's just like I said, that's phenomenal. I can't wait to listen to some more of your music, and I'm sure our viewers and our listeners are here probably looking you up already.
Please do.
So hey, Amy, you do so many things. You're a spokesperson. You got a nonprofit. I want to talk a little bit about the work that you do in the communities. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners some of the great things that you're doing out there?
Well, what's fun, it was those years that I spent as the spokesperson for AmVets. And as that came about organically from serving and wanting to perform and realizing that we had a mutual passion, we came up to a wonderful agreement. But I learned a lot about service organizations. I learned a lot about the struggle of people out there doing incredible work, but not able to fully get their message out there. So AmVets brought me in so that they could put their message out in front of more veterans that needed their services. So I would perform, and I would have a service officer with me so he could speak to the veterans and talk about why would you be a member of AmVets, and realizing that visibility, I was creating visibility for them so that they could help more veterans. And isn't that the truth with every nonprofit out there? They need that visibility so they can help more people. And so really having that understanding and awareness, it was a natural progression for me to create a foundation, Voice for Heroes, because what that means is that I'm going to come in and help you with visibility. I'm going to help you craft your message. We're going to help you with public relations. We're going to help you with media, maybe start a great podcast like this to help get your message out there. But it's amazing what can happen if we let people know really what we're doing. So this is what I do. This is who I'm looking to help. The people will step in and say, okay, I have a resource for you. I'd like to be a part of that. We'd like to volunteer. How can we help? But if the message is jumbled, if it's really not clear, or we hide it under a rock and no one knows you're out there doing it, then how can people help and support? So it really, for me, seeing how powerful just putting it out there in the right way can help make an impact on whatever you're doing. So Voice for Heroes helps all organizations, not just one.
Are you still working with the AmVets?
No, we ended our contract back in 2011, but I still have incredible dear friendships in that. I still have a lot of other veterans organizations throughout Southern California that call on me constantly and that I go and support or help or sing the national anthem or whatever I can do to be a part of that. It was continued relationships that I have that I'm just so proud of. And I even served for a couple years on the board of directors for the Veterans Association of Real Estate Professionals, educating in VA home loans. And so I always try to find a way that I can bring my resources or my network into supporting the veterans.
Wow. It's just fantastic. We're going to take a station break. Don't want to, because this is fascinating, and I want to get back and continue this conversation. But I tell you, if you want to communicate with Amy Scruggs, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask her any question. Don't be scared. Ask any question that you like, and I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just sitting here, just having fun with Amy Scruggs. I mean, just like I've been saying, I don't know which hat she got on right now. She wears so many of them.
It's Monday. It's all of them until I filter.
But wearing so many hats, and I say, always tell, there's nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
However, you must master one. You must master one. But having an understanding of a lot of things and doing a lot of things well help shape and round a person. And having the attitude and having the mindset to never, ever give up, like the title of today's show. And knowing deep down inside of you that there will be some tough times where you might want to throw your hands up. But you just have to believe in yourself and believe in what you do. What are your thoughts on that, Amy?
It's so true. And it's interesting when you even said, the jack of all trades and being one. And if I could pile them all together as one thing, it's my absolute love for people and connecting people. So I have the ability, music connects people. Doing interviews like this and having these great conversation connects people, brings resource. So I feel like everything that I do, each one of those things, whether I'm a TV host or whether I'm performing or I'm speaking, it's bringing together people. It's bringing together like-mindedness. It's bringing an opportunity to maybe make an impact. And I feel that that's that one thing. And I don't see them as separate. It's so funny. I feel like I'm a better performer because I'm a good communications coach and because I help people behind the scenes. And I think I'm great helping people behind the scenes because I understand what it's like to be on the stage and to perform or to put yourself out there or to take big risks. And so I see it as this one giant conglomeration of what is the main skill set that I have. And I know it's my heart. I know it's my care for people and my ability to communicate that.
Wow. Let's talk about media coach, and let's talk about TV because I mean you're doing it all. What made you decide that communications, being a media coach? Let's talk about that one first.
Well, it's
It's
funny how
something.
that organically evolved because I didn't go looking for it. It found me. I was helping back in business development and sales coaching and helping professionals to, ask for the business. I was still performing. And I got a call one day that just said, "Hey, Scruggs, I got somebody you need to meet. Are you interested in hosting a TV show? They need someone who understands the real estate industry, veterans, and is comfortable on camera." I guess I fit that bill. I'm like, wow, that I can do that. I can definitely do that. And it opened up an incredible opportunity. Well, then doing that for those years and meeting so many people by hosting them on television. At the time, we were doing a lot of interviews through Skype. A lot of them were also in person in the TV studio. I found a common thread that most people are uncomfortable on camera, or they're uncomfortable with, what am I going to say? Is this okay? Don't like the sound of their voice, don't like how they look. So I realized it was my job in that moment, even if it was a 5-minute interview, to make them as comfortable as possible, to bring out the best in them, to give them their moment to shine or share their business or their nonprofit or whatever their community message was that day. And that's where I realized I had a skill of helping others do that. Well, we had a pandemic hit and the entire world went on camera. And it was no longer just professionals that wanted to be on podcasting or on shows. It was everyone. Virtual meetings. Do we remember how disastrous Zoom was at the beginning for so many?
Oh,
I realized there was an opportunity that I could help people right there in the moment. So the coaching exploded from a need that took place at this time. And now, again, I see it as all one thing. I realized, wow, I can fill a need. And as I get older, I mean, I'm going to be a face for radio at some point, right? So maybe it's a good thing that behind the scenes I can produce, I can help, I can coach, I can lead, I can provide others with the resources and tools to go out and succeed. So I'm in this really fun hybrid state right now. I didn't know I would release new music and put myself back out there again, but they came to me. And that's when you have the opportunity to just say, well, no, it doesn't fit. I have to stay in this lane. Or maybe my lane just got bigger and I became a 5-lane highway. And that's okay.
that's okay because we continue to grow, and most importantly, just what you just said, get an opportunity to help others.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about with me. It's not about the I, the me, the my. It's about the we, the us, and the ours, and being able to reach out and give a hand, lift someone up.
Yes.
Being able to listen because you never know what's going on in a person's mind.
Right.
And just sometimes just being able to listen to that person,
Mm-hmm.
tell you what's on their mind. Was it on television? Was it on radio? Was it in person? I try to take that time to be that listening ear
Mm-hmm.
and compassionate about everything, because I believe it makes us better people,
Yes.
better communicators. And I think God kind of like put a check mark by your name every time he knows that you're showing compassion and that
Yes.
you love everybody else.
Yes.
So, wow. So Amy, wow, you just tell me about your new book, Lights, Camera, Action. I've been holding back. I've been holding back on that one for a while. Can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about
Yes, that one again, everything, the pandemic was a beautiful opportunity to crumble or find resources or find ways to go to draw in and say, okay, how can I retool? What is it I can provide right now? And what opportunities could I create for the future based on decisions I make right now to either watch Netflix or reinvest in myself? Right. And I love that you brought up the listening, because they teach a lot about active listening, because active listening, that listening to understand, not just to respond, is so important. And lights, camera, action isn't just about me just sharing. I did put some of my fun tips and tricks in there to be more comfortable and confident as a presenter and as a speaker or being on camera. But what I loved was that I have amazing network that I know have tremendous value and great things to say. So I reached out to all of them who were also at home during a pandemic. So they all said, yes, would you contribute? Would you share why you feel it's so important to deliver the right message? Or why don't you help me understand the power of first impressions? And I reached out to some key influencers in my network to contribute to the book's Lights, Camera, Action, so that it could provide value for whatever industry you're in, whoever you are and wherever you were at. You can take some nuggets of this from either myself or one of these other contributors as well with their stories. And it was a really fun project to put together. And it was interesting when my colleague called from Nashville and said, well, what if you had that one song that went with the book? And sure enough, we found it. So now I have the book, I have the music, and it was really fun to see that evolve over these last 3 years. And I would have never dreamed that it would open doors or be used in the way that it is. Sometimes we have to build it and then it will come, right? I felt the calling to build these things. And it's amazing. I'm also a Rotarian. I've been a member of Rotary for 5 years. And now this message and these tips are helping Rotarians all over, that I get to speak at leadership conferences, empowering Rotarians to bring that visibility out there, to show the world what Rotary is doing. And it's really fun. I wouldn't have dreamed when I wrote the book 3 years ago that it'd be used for this. I wouldn't have dreamed when the song came to me that it would be used for this. And it's amazing. I can't even imagine what's ahead and what's going to be used 3 years from now.
Wow. A couple of things in the Rotary. So are you part of Paula and them Rotary Club?
Yes, that's how we met. That's correct. Paula Shaw, she's amazing. We love her.
She is absolutely wonderful. I have visited that club quite a few times. I'm a Rotarian in Temecula.
Nice.
So
I have spoken to the Temecula clubs.
Oh, absolutely. And that's and people out there that do not know what Rotary really is. It's service before self.
Yes.
Just being able to put your wants aside and help others that are in need.
Yes. In every community, all over the world.
Yes, all over the world. All over the world. I kind of miss my meetings because I'm not in Temecula a whole lot that much anymore. But it's that's just a wonderful thing to do. Now, you mentioned something a second ago about evolve. Oh, yeah, I heard you. Evolve. A lot of people don't understand that just if you learn the little things right now, you continue to grow.
Yes.
And you continue to build on those things. You can evolve into something that's really, really big. That's really, really, you start off with a small message, right? Or whatever that might be. But you keep adding. And long as you are dreaming big, you add more stuff. Mm-hmm. Then if once you get out of your thought process, mindset, and start thinking big. A lot of people think small.
It's so true.
Small. If you think small, life is going to deliver small things too.
Right.
So I always say, dream big, think big. Most importantly, be big. Be big is not in size. It's in heart. It's in stature. It's in
intention. Yes.
Everything had to be intentional. So that when you mentioned evolve, that kind of bam. Yes. Like you mentioned earlier, an aha moment. that was one of those things.
I have them all the time. I have them in moments. I'll be in my closet hanging clothes up and I go, aha. And I have to go tell my daughter, I just had a moment. Here's what I was thinking. And it happens. If you're listening and aware and ready for aha moments, they'll come in the smallest of moments and give great insight. We have to be listening and clearing that noise in our head and be willing to evolve, which is huge. I see my life as this giant toolbox I walk around with. And when I was younger, it may have only had a wrench and a screwdriver in it. equipment. But now, my goodness, I got power tools. I've got a full torque set. I have it's like, so now if I get a call, hey, Amy, can you? I stop and I go, hold on. I look in the toolbox. Yes, I can do that. And sometimes I'll say yes and go, better go find that tool. I booked an entire tour before I had a band because I believed I didn't want to say no to the tour. So then I went and built it, and I had a band that came out and toured with me, and we had a few kinks along the way, but we worked it out. But imagine if I had thought small and thought, well, no, and then turned that down, the opportunities I would have missed.
Hold that thought. We got to take a station break.
Yes.
And we're going to come back, and we're going to pick it up from there because it's all about dreaming big, thinking big, and being big. And if you want to be big on this show, if you want to be big a part of this conversation with Amy Scruggs, the Amy Scruggs, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask her any question that you like. I promise you, we'll get you on. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James.
That was so beautiful. You guys are so amazing. Oh, I loved it.
Hey, Amy, that's my baby right there. That's my baby. That's my heart.
I see that.
But Amy, I got some good news that just happened.
What?
Just happened. I'm talking about just happened since you've been on the show. We just went over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Right now.
Yes, I get to share the moment with you. Congratulations.
We just went over, and one of my producers is watching. Soji, thank you. Keep up the great work, Soji. Thank you.
Fantastic. How exciting. Congratulations. What an honor I get to be here for that. Pretty cool. Dream big, thinking big.
There's we got some folks in watching you on television, watching you. And Bishop Jackson said, "Hey, JC, you just hit 10,000." I said, "What?" Okay, let me come back into my element.
No, this is good stuff. It goes right in the toolbox. Right in the toolbox.
So you wrote this book. Do you have plans on writing lots and lots of other books?
In my quiet time, I really do. Of course, I want to finish a whole nother album, and I do want to start another book. Timing will be everything. I'll probably give it a start and start working on it and just see where that leading goes. It's really fun. I wait. I know that there'll be a little shift, and I'll go, There it is. It's that listening. It's that being awake and aware and listening to that calling and also knowing when to wait. I may want to and say, yeah, I need to do that today, but I might be forcing a door that doesn't need to open yet. So listening to that leading and just really following on that is so important.
Wow. It's books. I mean, you just like you said, it requires time.
Yes.
I just finished up, got 2 coming out, 3 coming out next month. So
That's so exciting.
I know what it requires to do that and
Yes.
continue to, do television and radio and do all of these other great
Produce
things.
other shows. I produced 2 other shows.
Oh yeah, and so it's but being able to take that me time, I'm talking about where you focus on things that make you happy. I'm talking
Yes.
about that self-satisfaction.
Yes.
Tell our viewers, how important is that?
So important. I'm a big reader. Absolutely love reading. And I'm always reading like 3 things at one time. I'm always reading something inspirational that's maybe, helping myself in personal development. I always love reading a business book, helping empower me with tools and resources that I'm going to need now or up ahead. And I always love reading biographies because I want to hear other people's stories, because we can always relate to something in someone else's story and not feel so alone in our own. So I'm constantly rotating at the same time those 3 books, taking that quiet time in the morning or maybe even a break in my day that I can just feed that I can continue educating myself in all of these categories is a huge part of my balance. And if it's quiet and if no one is home, I sit down at the piano. That's when I really get to go to it. I can pour it out. It's so totally different than when I'm preparing a performance for an audience. Then I'm on. But if I can just sit and play from my own heart and spirit and not care if I make a mistake or who's listening, that's a completely different self-care. And I love it.
Wow. So Amy, I always throw a wrench in toward the beginning and toward the end. If Amy Scruggs, if she had an opportunity to go back and speak to her younger version, like 20 or 30 years ago, what would you tell Amy Scruggs?
Hang on. Things may not always be what they appear, right? Objects and mirror. Hang on. Keep pushing through. Because if I had gotten the things I have now younger, I would have screwed it up. So hang on, because you're going to get it when it's right for you, when you're going to be the most fruitful with it, when I'm going to be the most appreciative and respectful with what's given to me. And I would remind myself of that.
Wow. Amy, you're just a fascinating individual, certainly a fascinating interviewer. What are 3 takeaways you want our viewers to get from this absolutely wonderful interview that we have today?
Well, I love that we've definitely identified thinking big. If we think small, we're going to get small. That it's okay to let things breathe and wait. Do the right thing. Help others along your own journey while you're investing in yourself, in your business, your nonprofit, whatever it is you're doing, your family. Invest in others in time, because that's going to grow and elevate you where you're supposed to be in the right time, the right way. And take off the limits. Take them off. You have no idea. You yourself could also be a 5-lane highway and not know which part you're in, but it's all such a beautiful flow when you take off those limits.
Okay, we got a Bishop Jackson here said, yes, what's next for Amy Scruggs?
Oh, I'm enjoying the evolution of watching my kids step into their own path. So I think there's a lot right now. My mama's heart is really full right now as I'm seeing my adult children take their next steps into life. And so it's going to be finding out where my balance is. The next balance is when I slow down, maybe, when I maybe take on that next project and just continue reminding myself that grace and that care will be there along the way to reveal itself.
How can our viewers and our listeners get in touch with you, get your music, your books, and so many other things? Can you tell them?
Yes, thankfully.
I'm going to write down myself.
Amy Scruggs. If you just Google Amy Scruggs, thankfully I do not have a common name. And Michelle had asked me earlier, why country music? Because my last name is Scruggs. There was no other choice. There was no other genre with the last name of Scruggs. So that path was laid out for me. If you Google Amy Scruggs, you're going to find Amy Scruggs Media, Amy Scruggs Music. If you put me into your favorite streaming platform, you're going to find the music. You put me in Amazon, you put me in Google, you're going to find it. You can't miss me. And all social platforms, just put in Amy Scruggs. I promise you'll find it.
Amen. It's always a pleasure interviewing you, just chatting with you. Wow.
What a blessing to be with you today. Thank you so much for the lives that you serve with this show over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you. You know that you got a standing invitation to my show anytime, man.
I'll take you up on it.
Hopefully, we're gonna get you on the network real soon. Whenever you let me know.
The wheels are spinning back there. It's happening. I promise.
So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely wonderful show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life every day. I want to leave you with this again, and I know Amy just said it. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James Cooley.